Hello friends, if you have find this video and channel interesting which will add value to your knowledge and learning, then please like it, subscribe my channel and also click on the bell icon so as to get the automatic notification of latest uploaded videos. Thank you. Now let's see what this question, this Cisco collaboration question is asking about. Which three items are required to provision core telephony services on the Cisco Unified Communication Manager Express router? Choose 3. So option 1 is MAC address, option 2 is IP source address, option C is dial peer, next option is ePhone, next option is Max DN, next is Max ePhone. So this question is basically asking if you try to configure an IP phone, a Cisco IP phone on the Cisco CME, which is a router-based call manager, which are the three commands that is required to configure. So that is asking about the telephony services. Okay. So basically, a Cisco IP phone is of two types, means it is having two firmwares. One is either SCCP firmware or it has SIP firmware. So telephony services is something which is for the SCCP firmware. Let's see in the next slide on the explanation what it is about. So if you see here, one is SCCP and another is SIP. So these two are the firmwares that is normally present on the Cisco IP phone. So SCCP is a bit older one. In old phones, you will see SCCP firmware, but in all the latest phones, there is only SIP's firmware. So the question is asking about the telephony services. So under telephony services, if you see what are the important commands that is required to configure a IP phone. So telephony services is for SCCP. If you see the command like max ePhones, max DN, IP source address, so these three are the important commands which is required to configure the core telephony services on the Call Manager Express. So similarly for SIP, it's a bit different. If you see what are the relevant commands here for SCCP and SIP phones. So if you want to configure IP phone, then here it is ePhone, and in SIP it is voice register pool. If you want to configure directory number, in SCCP it is ePhone DN, and in SIP it is voice register DN. So similarly, if you want to configure telephony configuration, in SCCP it is telephony services, and in SIP it is voice register global. So under the voice register global, you need to define a lot of commands to configure the SIP IP phones, SIP Cisco IP phones. So in our question, what it is looking for, the important commands are max ePhones, max DN, and the IP source address. These three are the commands, and this should be the answer of that question. Let's explore a bit more on the Cisco portal. If you go to the URL which I have shared on my channel and scroll a bit down and go to the configuration examples for making basic calls, and under that if you go to the example of configuring SCCP phones and click on that link, you will find the command. So under that, if you scroll a bit down and go to the telephony services, it will be mostly here. So if you go to the telephony services section, you will see all the commands which is mentioned on the question options are there, like max ePhone, max DN, and IP source address. Okay, So these are the three commands which is required to configure the core telephony services in the CME, which is the Call Manager Express, the router version of the Call Manager. So the correct answer for this question should be IP source address, max DN, and max ephone. This is the URL which I have already shared in my channel. You can explore a bit more on this, and you can go to the section example for configuring SCCP phones for making basic calls. Thank you.